Hello, darlings. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Leslie, owner of Lily Rose DMA and the creator of your first 30 days marketing course. So I'm going to do a training that I normally only give people in my class as well as people in my private Facebook group, Glow Up Marketing Mavens. And it is something that I love talking about, which is generational marketing. Now, if you're just starting out learning how to market yourself, it gets really overwhelming. You're not quite sure what social platform to be on. You're not quite sure how many times you're supposed to post something. It gets kind of crazy. I completely understand. So something that I have learned through my years of marketing that has helped me the most is marketing to generations. And that is what we're going to talk about today in depth, in detail. So what is generational marketing? Generational marketing is marketing to the generation. So that means Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, boomers, right? And what we need to do is we need to understand who your customers are. And once we understand who they are by creating your handy dandy customer persona, then you will be able to understand what generation they fit into. And that's important because each generation has its own values. It has its own systems and it has its own trigger words and trigger things that will actually make them interested in what you are selling, make them the best clients in the world, and get you that money, honey, because we all need some extra money nowadays, don't we? Okay. So when you learn the generation, you know what social media platform to market on. Now, you can definitely do email marketing, you can definitely do print and radio and different things like that. But it's 2022 and your business needs to be online. If you don't have an online presence, most people actually don't trust you. They don't know who you are and they're just like, I don't know. So let's talk about the generations quickly. And then after we talk about the generations, I will let you know where they are most likely online and what verbiage you can use to entice them to be interested in your product and service, okay? So boomers. Boomers come in two sets, but basically it's from 1946 to 1964. And they value education. They value knowledge and credentials. So if you are showing yourself as an expert in your field, they really will listen to you. They value bucket listing and they're very nostalgic of days gone by, more than other generations as well. They value legacy. They are young at heart and they are politically active. So social media platforms such as Twitter would be great, as well as if you are on LinkedIn and you are showing people how you are an expert in your field. This really goes well with boomers. And they really greatly value community. Now you have to understand that boomers came along before technology. They actually went outside, So they weren't spending necessarily hours on the phone. They were meeting up with their friends. So if you can do something that gives in-person events, if you can do something that shows that you are a community-oriented business, this goes really, really well with boomers and it makes them trust you more. So if you add community as well as expertise, not only will you get their loyalty, but you will get their dollars. Next generation is Gen X, and this is from 1965 to 1980. These are the MTV generation. These are the latch kids. These are the ones that grew up taking care of themselves. So when you speak to them, you need to speak to them like they're a manager. You need to speak to them as though they are in charge. These are the ones that founded Silicon Valley, okay? These are the tech people. They value freedom and independence. They value accountability. They also are entrepreneurial at mind and spirit. So if you have anything that is DIY, do it yourself, they're really going to be interested in that because they've been doing it themselves since they were children. These are the ones that were 9 years old taking care of their siblings, So if you can't understand that, then it's going to be hard for them to actually trust you. They spend a lot of money on home and luxury products. They want to value that work-life balance. So they work hard and they play hard. They are, as I said, the MTV generation. So they are the ones that made hip hop mainstream, grunge mainstream, alternative rock. So anything nostalgic with those things as well will work very well with the Gen X generation. Now, let's talk about millennials. Millennials are from 1981 to 1996, and millennials are right in the middle. So they still have traditional values, but they don't necessarily believe in like working at a job for the rest of their life, like pensioners, like boomers do. They're socially liberal with traditional values. So millennials, they want to make a difference in the world. You know, millennials look at things with rose-colored glasses. And you have to understand that millennials grew up learning and being taught that they can be anything they want to be. As long as you have a dream, it can happen. But then the recession in 2008 happened, and that left a lot of millennials jaded. So if you can speak to that inner child, if you can tell them, I believe in you, you are great, you are wonderful, quotes, inspirational quotes and journal prompts work amazing with millennials. And that will make them actually come back to your profile again and again. And then you can also put in your product or service. Anything that makes them feel that hope again that was taken away from them will go a very, very long way with millennials. Millennials, we value diversity. You know, millennials are also dreamers, and they hate phonies and liars. You know, like if you were taught that you can have anything, and then you were taught then after you went to college and you got your master's or just your bachelor's and the only job you could get was working at McDonald's, that makes a lot of people feel like they were lied to, and now they have a tremendous amount of debt that they are still paying off. So be honest, be authentic with millennials, because it will go a very, very long way. And the last generation we're going to talk about today that has some buying power would be Gen Z. And this generation is from 1997 to 2012. Now, they are much like Gen X. They are definitely entrepreneurs. They are extremely smart. They value branding, and they want to see you in multiple places online. So if you are looking for Gen Zers, then you need to have your content curated. So you need to have a vast social media profile. You need to be visible online. Be on Instagram, be on TikTok, be on Snapchat, be on YouTube. These are very important social sites because they are constantly consuming information, and more than any other generation right now, they are online, they are engaged, and they are entering the workforce. So they actually do have some disposable income, and a lot of them have learned from looking at their older siblings or maybe young aunts and uncles that were millennials, and they saw how much hard work and effort they put in but didn't necessarily get the payoff. So they started to be entrepreneurs. They really have multiple businesses, and they have multiple interests, and they cater their lives. They curate their lives. So they might have a Instagram page for their photography. They might have an Instagram page for their singing. They might have an Instagram page for vintage cars that they really love. And they have curated different groups of friends specifically for that. So niche down, and you will be able to really spark their interest. And be honest, this generation are sleuths. So if you say that you've always cared about the environment, but they can go back and they can look and say, actually, no, you haven't, and they will put you on blast, they will let people know you are a liar, don't do that. You know, say, you know, before we used to be this way in our company, but now we see that we were wrong in the past and we're trying to move forward and trying to be better. Be honest and authentic with Gen Zers, with everybody especially, but Gen Zers will call you out 100%. They will put your phone number online. They will get people to try to cancel you. So you have to be very, very honest in your business practices with them. So now that we know who they are and we know our boomers, our Gen Z, our millennials. Now let's talk about where are they most likely online and how can you entice them to talk to you? How can you entice them to actually buy your product and service, because you are a business owner and you are a fabulous business owner and I believe in you. And so let me tell you how you can find people to spend that money that they have earned on what you have created. Boomers are most likely to be found on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Facebook is really great for them because it continues on with that community. So if you start a Facebook group, if you are active in Facebook groups, that's very important. If you have ads that you can run on Facebook that makes them feel nostalgic, anything that helps them to continue to check things off on their bucket list will go such a long way with boomers. Remember, you are an expert in your field. So talk about how long you've been in your field. Talk about your position in the company. Talk about even if you went and you started something else, they don't mind that independence, but they want credentials. So make sure that when you are posting things online, let them know why you are an expert. They're definitely on YouTube as well because they're trying to learn something new and they're looking at the latest funny videos, especially because their grandkids are probably showing them those things. And they're very active on Twitter, especially anything that deals with politics and changes, anything like that. They want to give their opinion, and a lot of them are retired, so they have time. So make sure that you are on Facebook and Twitter, especially for boomers. Gen X, where would they be on our social media platforms? They are also on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So you have to understand that yes, TikTok is a young platform, but more and more businesses over the last 3 years have definitely signed up and gotten on there. And now, because on your For You page, everything is catered to what you've liked and what you've actually interacted with more. So if you also want to go and show your expertise, if you also want to show people how they can do things themselves, like DIY things, like, hey, you actually don't have to pay for that over there. Let me show you how you can do it yourself. Definitely Gen Xers will love that. So they are on YouTube, so videos for how to, kind of like what I'm doing now, as well as TikTok. But LinkedIn, these people are still owning their own businesses. And LinkedIn is such a slept on social media platform. Oh my goodness. It is business to business direct. And because not so many people are on there, most people are only on LinkedIn when they're looking for a job, it gives you greater visibility when you show up every single day, when you interact with other people's content. It is so simple to get likes and shares on LinkedIn more than on any other social media platform. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. You don't even have to create your own content. You can simply find an article that somebody else put, read the article, find something that you thought was interesting, and just say, hey, I really liked this article and I loved how this person said ... And then tag them in the post, repost it. It's just like it was back in the early days of Facebook and Instagram. LinkedIn is still a really great place to be, and I really think that all business owners need to be on it. I will get off my soapbox now. All right, so millennials, where are millennials? Millennials are on Facebook out of nostalgia, because I still remember when Facebook was only for college kids before it was opened up to everyone else. It was a rite of passage, right? We are definitely on YouTube. We're still on Snapchat, and we're still on Instagram. So I really want you to understand that when you are talking to millennials as well as Gen Zers, stories are key. Millennials are the ones that started with Snapchat, so they understand the concept of stories, which has, gone into Reels and TikTok and all of those things, right? So if you want to market to them in stories, market to them on Snapchat, do the Reels, do TikTok as well. A lot of millennials have also gravitated over to TikTok, so I will add that to the list as well. And, YouTube is just almost for every single generation. Everyone is on YouTube. You can find your own niche there. And Gen Z, they are definitely on TikTok, YouTube and Instagram. Now notice, they are on video sharing sites. They are on things that allow them to be seen. They are on things that allow them to learn and grow. So if you are going to capture their attention, you need to create video content. Now, let me do a short little thing about video content. It does not have to be you on camera. It doesn't. You 100% can get some good free stock videos, and you can just have words at the bottom. You know, it could be a voiceover if you're afraid to be on camera. It doesn't always have to be your face. Now, eventually, maybe your face, but definitely, you know, show the behind the scenes of your business, show your products. Show the outside of your business, show your customers, show people that actually really are enjoying what you are doing. And that will go a long way with everyone. That will show your expertise, that will create people trusting you, that will make it so that, you know, the younger generations are eating up that content. Videos do not just have to be like what I'm doing now with you on camera, okay? So these are their preferred social sites, and it's kind of awesome. So how, even though we know where they are and we know what they value, how can we put that together? How can we make it so that they actually want to stop by there? Because we are being bombarded with so many advertisements all the time. People are trying to get attention everywhere. But how can you make people stop? How can you make people listen to you? How can you make people understand that, yes, you might have a product and service that is very similar to other people, but yours is better, right? Let me show you how. So, boomers, you need to be involved in Facebook groups, as I said. Create one for your business. You also need to remind them of the good old days. Remind them of boomer values. Remind them of, you know, what they believe being a man and woman is. Remind them of company values and hard work and ethics. Continue to show your expertise, as I said. So don't be afraid to say, I have this much experience, I have made my clients this much money, because they're really looking at that. They're looking at results. Remember, they are the people that worked up from the mailroom to wanting to be the CEO one day, or at least a manager. So they value hard work, they value determination, and they value people who have worked their ways up in the ranks as well. And continue to remind them that they still have things to do. Continue to remind boomers that there's still a lot of life left for them to live. Gen X, you need to speak to them like business owners. You need to speak to them as if they are managers as well. Something that works really well, I would say with most generations, but especially with Gen X as well, is using song lyrics from the 80s and 90s, using GIFs and memes, like if you're using Molly Ringwald or like The Breakfast Club, if you're doing anything from that era that is reminding them of their past that you don't really see in mainstream media right now, and you tie it into your business somehow, gold. 100% gold. Make sure that you show how their product or service improves their home space. You know, so are you doing something that's saving them time? Remember, these are managers, these are entrepreneurs. So if it's going to save them time, then lead with that. If it's going to be something that they can do themselves, then lead with that, because they are very curious, they're very interested in learning, and they are entrepreneurs, and they want to make sure that they have no problem spending money. They just want to make sure that they're spending it in the right place. And show how your products and service are adaptable to their life as well. Millennials. Millennials, use encouraging quotes. I mean, get your journal. Create journal prompts, create bullet journals, create every sort of inspirational thing that you possibly can do and tie it into your business. I mean, if you look at my YouTube channel, you can see that I also have done that because, you know, I am a millennial as well. So I understand what it's like to feel like my whole life is over. I've done everything I'm supposed to do and it's not working, right? So encouraging quotes, journal prompts, market on Facebook and Instagram. and Snapchat. But let me tell you, Facebook is one of the best and easiest ways to market because you can spend $10 on one ad and you can reach about 2,000 people a day with that ad. So you've reached 14,000 people at the end of 7 days for your ads. And now that you know who your customers are, and now that I've already told you where they are online, use your ad dollars wisely because you definitely can get organic marketing, but if you pay for marketing, you will actually get to where you need to be faster. It's just true. I'm just throwing that out there. Yes, I own a marketing company, but that's why I own a marketing company, because you kind of have to pay to play sometimes. Speak to millennial self-esteem. Let them know that they still have something left to give as well, kind of like boomers. And let them know that now is their time, that right now, millennials are able to do things that they thought they were going to do 10, 12 years ago. So remind them that now is your time, you can do it, go after that, and also treat them with respect. There are some business owners that still have that thing of, oh, well, I don't have to pay you as much. Yes, you do. Continue to pay them what they're worth, because millennials are not interested in, having a juice bar at work. They're interested in getting paid correctly for their time and their effort that they've put in. They've put in a lot of work, a lot of hard times, and it's time for them to get the reward. And so if you have any verbiage like that when you're marketing to them, it will go a very long way. Gen Z, a great way for you to market to them is show the causes that your company believes in and show the social proof that you actually are staying with those causes. If it's brand new, it's fine if it's brand new. Say, hey, we realize that this is really important to us and this is something that we value. So they're always looking for a cause. They're always looking for something to help fight for and fight with. So if you're showing what your business believes in, you will go a very long way in marketing. As I said before, show behind the scenes. Have your social media curated and cohesive. Think of yourself as a brand. And what's great, as I said before, is Gen Z are super fans. If they love you, they will tell the world about you. They will post you on all of the social media platforms that they possibly can. They are constantly taking in content, so they're constantly learning and they're constantly craving more. So something that you could do is, with Gen Z specifically, this doesn't have to be for everybody. Let's say you have a piece of content and you post half of it on your TikTok and you post the other half on your Instagram, and you post this on like Snapchat or something like that. So they have to go from one place to another. Even if they've read the top half before, give them something new to learn about you and they will stay hooked on you. Kind of like druggies. I'm gonna be honest. The way that they're consuming stuff is like, wow. Also, show that you believe in diversity. And this is also true for millennials as well. Diversity is really big. You have to understand that millennials and Gen Z have grown up with people that are different from them around them, and that's normal. It's normal for them to have people that are multi-ethnic, non-binary, different types of gender, people in polyamorous relationships and different things like that. So if you're going to market to them, understand that that is who they are and have things that are curated for these types of, people and places and things. And as I said, post all the time, all right? So as I said before, generational marketing is my favorite way to market. It makes it so much easier. After you understand your customer persona, like who they are, what their age is, like where they live, their disposable income. Once you get that age range, then you know what generation that they are in. And once you know that generation that they are in, you know their social media platforms, and now you have some ideas of how to market to them. So, my loves, my darlings, this is just a taste of what I give you in my program, Your First 30 Days Marketing. I take you through it all. I take you through what your unique selling point is. I help you with the basics of marketing, and I help you build on the things that you already know. And I help you with selling and all these different things to make sure that you make a profit, to make sure that you have the confidence that you need to go out there and slay it, to let you know that now is your time. So the link for my program is in the description, and I hope, in fact, I know, I'll see you in class soon. Talk to you soon. Bye.